Good evening, everybody. It's meteorologist Erica Martin with Weather Co-op, where weather meets community. We're going to go over the fire that we're now tracking. We've been tracking all day long, the mountain fire in Ventura County. Currently, we have seen that the total acreage of the area impacted by the fire is at approximately 14,148 acres. That is absolutely so sad. So we're going to go through this right now. Let's make sure we have everything running up nice and smoothly. Let's zoom on into our area here. As you can see, I have a wider perspective here, but we're going to zoom on into the area of interest for us here. And as soon as we get there, we're going to go ahead and just get started. But we do have a couple of things we want to talk about, of course. We know that this has been impacted by the Santa Ana winds. As soon as I can zoom out here and head on over to our area here in Ventura County, we do know that the Santa Ana winds have really impacted us today. Let's see if I can go ahead and get off of this one moment and see what's happening here. I'm having a little bit of difficulty, but no worries. We're going to go ahead and just hop off of that graphic for just one moment and get back on it. That looks like we should be pretty much rocking and rolling in just one moment there. So yeah, I did actually overlay quite a few items here. So you're going to say, what's going on here, Erica? There's a lot here. Well, there's a lot happening. And once again, so far the mountain fire is accountable for 14,148 acres of burned land. Okay. So this is what we've seen impacted so far. This is a really sad situation. And unfortunately, with this wind profile, these wind speeds, wind gusts, this looks like it's going to be quite a problem for some time. So we're definitely sending our prayers out to everybody. And let's just make sure that we're up and running across the board. And we are. All right. So once again, we're talking here about our fire. Let's see here. What time did it officially start? Incident map here claims that the date started today, of course, but the time was approximately 8:51 a.m. local time PST. So we want to just go over a few details, including the location. Now, of course, it's since spread, but the location of where they think it ignited was Balcom Canyon Road and Bradley Road in Somis, California. Okay. And that's Ventura County. You can see here, I've highlighted it there, and I've also left the wind profile on. So there are a few things I want you to look at, okay, with me here. We're going to go through this together. This is really important because this is supremely, supremely sad. And my gosh, my prayers are going out to all of the heroes, firefighters who are out there fighting this fire. Okay. So we've talked about how conditions have been very dry. We've been talking about the high wind warnings, the wind advisories, all those wind alerts, and we even did see those areas hatched in red, right? So that would have indicated the concern for fire weather. And now we're seeing red flag warnings, high wind warnings, wind alerts of all kind. And of course, we're tracking this area here that's being impacted. So right off the bat, you see that I've left the wind profile on, okay? So the wind is a northeasterly push. And in one moment, you're going to see what happens with the Santa Ana winds, right? We're talking about how the Santa Ana winds are accelerating this. In other words, is it the reason it started? No, they're still investigating that. As I mentioned to you, the time that they have as possible ignition would have been at 8:51 a.m. today. Location Balcom Canyon Road at Bradley Road in Somis, and the last update we've received was at 7:03 p.m. And let me tell you something, I started building this map for you guys at about 6 p.m. and we were at just over 10,100 acres impacted. Now we're at over 14,000 acres impacted. And I understand why. Look at these winds. These winds are convergent. We've got so much happening here. These are some really active winds. So first of all, let's go over the actual location here. So once again, we're in Somis, which is in Ventura County, still under investigation. The administrative unit includes the Unified Command, CAL FIRE, San Luis Obispo, and Ventura County Fire Departments. And we do have some reports here, including an evacuation order, an immediate threat to life. This is an order by law enforcement to leave immediately. The area is lawfully closed to public access. please, if you have friends and family, if you yourself are in this area, you definitely do not want to go in this area just for your safety and the safety of everybody out there trying to help. Zone 1, north of Somis, areas north of East Los Angeles Avenue, Highway 118, west of Balcom Canyon Road, and east of La Vista Avenue. Zone 2, Saticoy Country Club, east of Los Angeles Avenue, Highway 118, and south of the Santa Clara River and north of Beardsley Road. Zone 3, areas south of Highway 118, west of North Lewis Road, north of North Loop Drive and Mission Drive, and east of Fairway Drive. Zone 4, West Camarillo, Las Posas, Spanish Hills areas, north of Las Posas Road, south and east of Central Avenue and Beardsley Road, and west of Anacapa Drive. Zone 6, the area extended south of Santa Clara River, east of Los Angeles Avenue, north of Saticoy Country Club or County Club, and west of Briggs Road. Zone 7, the area north of Highway 101 and south and east of Beardsley Avenue and south of Central Avenue. And Zone 9, the areas east of Santa Paula Community Golf Course, north along Santa Clara River, west of South Mountain Road at Sespe Street, and south to Bixby Road. So unincorporated Soma. So it's an unincorporated area west to Saticoy Country Club, east to Balcom Canyon Road, south to Highway 118. A potential threat to life and or property, those who require additional time to evacuate, and those with pets and livestock should leave immediately. Evacuation warnings have been also established for the following areas. Zone 8, an area extended of South Mountain Road, east of Briggs Road, and west of 12th Street and Bigsby Road. Okay, so let's go over the evacuation centers. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. We are going over everything that's happening now with the mountain fire in Somis, Ventura County, California. Mountain fire location commenced in Balcom Canyon Road and Bradley Road, Ventura County, under investigation at approximately 8:51 a.m. But this is spreading so quickly. It's unreal. Like I said, I started building this map maybe at about 6 p.m. and wanted to just put some finishing touches. As soon as I looked, I was like, we're at over 14,000 acres already consumed by fire. Okay. So let's talk about this. Evacuation shelters. Please let everybody know these locations. Padre Serra Parish, 5205 Upland Road, Camarillo, California. Large Animal Evacuation Center. An evacuation center has been established for large animals at the Ventura County Fairgrounds. Ventura County Fairgrounds, 10 East Harbor Boulevard, Ventura, California. Makes me so sad. Small Animal Evacuation Center. An evacuation center for small animals has been established at Ventura County Animal Services at Camarillo Airport. Ventura County Animal Services, 600 Aviation Drive. So it's at the airport, okay? Let's see. The Ventura County Fire Department is on the scene on a fast-moving brush fire in near the 7900 block of Balcom Canyon Road and Bradley Road. Okay, so that's what we're talking about right now. And as far as road closures go, northbound Lewis Road at Las Posas, eastbound Highway 118 at Wells Road, westbound Highway 118 at Tierra Rejada Road. All right, so that's where you all want to keep in mind. We also have some live cam here. I might be able to get this for you. It's let's see, courtesy of UC San Diego. I might be able to pull this up. I don't have my director with me tonight, but if I can possibly capture that, I promise you I will. There we go. So I've captured it for you right here. Can you guys see this right here? All right, we're capturing this for you right now. I'm going to go ahead and try to pull this out for you all. Okay, do you guys see here, once again, courtesy UC San Diego? This is what the fire is looking like right now. One more time, guys. Let's go ahead and get back to this. Sorry, I had to just switch off of that for just one moment. I just saw it. Here it is. Okay, so this is uh, brought to you by Alert California, UC San Diego, And this right here is what the fire is looking like, and it's rapidly spreading. It's really a sad situation. Let's go ahead and grab our graphic one more time. I do hope you're all having a really nice and safe Wednesday night. But if you have anybody in these areas, if you have friends, coworkers, colleagues, you've got to let them know this is not where they want to be. They have evacuation orders in effect, and they also have evacuation warnings. They also have evacuation shelters. I'll be sure to post that all across our social media platforms. Remember, our app is up. It's in beta testing, but we'll try to do our best to get as much as we can into every area possible. Let's see if we can see this here. I'm going to try and pull up another camera for you guys. Bear with me one moment. Okay, can you guys see this right here? This is another angle. Once again, thank you so much, Alert California, UC San Diego. This has been brought to you also by Cal Fire. Can you see how rapidly this is spreading? So once again, let's get started and start undoing and showing you where everything is. So we've been talking about this all day, but now we're seeing a few interesting items. So we do understand once again that we have evacuation warnings in effect and we have evacuation orders. We also have a location for safety evacuation shelters at the Padre Serra Parish. We have large animal evacuation center, and we also have a small animal evacuation center. Guys, please, let's send our prayer. This is growing so fast. Okay, so I'm going to highlight a couple of items here. We have our high wind warning. So SOMIS, which is in Ventura County, is under a high wind warning. That's been the case for the past several hours. And in fact, I do think for the past couple of days, we certainly see wind alerts issued. Okay. Once I take off that that watch and warning, the high wind warning, and then move that back and just show you one of our contours, which does include our actual fire weather. I'm going to remove our radar. I'm going to remove our satellite, and I'm going to remove our wind profile. I'm also going to remove, you see that blue right there, guys? Do you see that blue highlighted in that area right above me? I'm going to try to point it right over there. Do you see that right on the coast? I'm going to go ahead and remove that very quickly. And what you're seeing now is the impact of the fire weather. Okay. So this is the actual fire. Look at how it's consuming this area, and it's growing very quickly because when we go back and put the wind particles back on, do you see how extremely fast these winds are moving? And then we also have to deal with wind gusts. We also have to deal with things like fuel, canopy, things of that nature. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to step back and remove our fire weather, and now I'm going to go ahead and add our near surface smoke. So look what's happening here. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more and look at how badly we're being impacted by the smoke. If you or anyone you know is in this area, you've got to let them know to either stay indoors if they're not in that evacuation area, or they have to wear a mask. This is absolutely not good for your health at all. So I wanted to show you that. Once again, I will add on my watches and warnings, and then I'll remove our wind particle, and we're going to go through here and take a look that yes, we do have our fire weather warning. We also have our high wind warning issued by the National Weather Service. And once again, here's a quick look at the location here. I'm going to switch cameras on my end over here so you guys can see it. And can you see here? This is what we have. We're at over 14,000 acres impacted. Okay. Now I'm also going to go ahead and roll down the list so you guys can see the evacuation orders. Zone 1 through 9, excluding 8, because evacuation warning is in effect for zone 8. That's the area extending south of South Mountain Road, east of Briggs Road, and west of 12th Street and Bigsby Road. Apart from that, we have zone 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and 9, and the unincorporated areas of SOMIS, west to Saticoy Country Club, east to Balcom Canyon Road, which is where they believe the fire began, south to Highway 118 at approximately 8:51 a.m. local time. Here is a look at our evacuation shelters, as well as our large animal evacuation center and our small animal evacuation center. And once again, guys, as we switch back over to our other camera, you can see here that we have this area that's being consumed by this rapid moving fire. Now, I want to get to another graphic so we can talk about why. This is how these Santa Ana winds work, okay? Now, I want to pull this back a little bit and then we're going to move this forward. I'm going to toggle that back very quickly. And what I want to explain to you is that we have this area of high pressure, okay? And then locally right now, we are dealing with basically a feature. So we have our area of high pressure, but we also have strong upper level support with the really strong wind profile. We'll go through the upper levels of the atmosphere so you can see what I'm talking about here, okay? So we do have this area of high pressure, and we also are dealing with, let's see here. Let's see. Let's see. We also have, it looks like a surface trough that's impacting us as well. So let's get this into motion here. Thank you all for joining me this evening. I hope you're all having a wonderful night and please stay safe. Okay, high pressure builds east of the Sierra Mountains. Air pushes down the mountains and is compressed and warm. And remember, as those winds are compressed, they get warmer, as this is saying, and they get faster. A really good example would be what would happen in the Central Coast. I would have to forecast sundowners. So that's what we're looking at there. Not a sundowner per se, but still the compression and the acceleration of this wind as it comes down. Now we have that drier air, and look at what happens with the winds here as they squeeze through the canyons. They actually squeeze and become a lot more increase in an acceleration. They accelerate because of that increase in the squeezing, okay, of the air profile. These winds create hot, dry conditions and very dry, hot, fire weather concerns. Okay, so back we go to our graphic here to talk about what's happening. Thank you so much, guys, for joining me here at Weather Co-op, where weather meets community. I wish we were talking about something a little bit different. We will go through our national weather forecast in just one moment, but right now we do have to focus on what's happening here in SOMIS, Ventura County, California. You can see that the winds right now are really strong. Let's look at our current wind profile quickly. So we can get an idea of what we're dealing with right now. So we have our high wind warning. And if we, let's see, it looks like we're getting that wind coming out of the northeast, a sustained wind speed between 20 and 30 miles per hour. So once again, these are really strong winds. And you can see here that we are concerned with not only the actual fire in and of itself, but now we're actually concerned with, once we remove everything here, is the actual fire and the actual smoke. So I'm going to go ahead and change this very quickly. And now what we're going to do is look at our near surface smoke, which is what I believe we did right over here as we remove that. Here is our near surface smoke profile. So now do you see why I am so concerned? When we zoom on into this area, you can see that the wind, in fact, is pushing that air, that near surface smoke towards the coast, right? So everybody in that area is absolutely being impacted by the smoke. So I would highly recommend, if you or anybody you know happens to be in that area, you absolutely want to make sure that you guys stay indoors unless it's an evacuation area, or you keep your masks on, okay? So let's take a look at some of the cities or counties that might be. In fact, here's a Saticoy Club. We just talked about that. So Camarillo or Camarillo, I believe you guys are in the line of really bad air quality right now with this near surface smoke. Oxnard, of course, Port Hueneme, Channel Island Beach. Let's see. Let's see. Rio Lindo, El Rio River Park, and who else possibly? It looks like we're actually right there with Oxnard College, East Village, West Village. Lots of Point Magoo Missile Park, Point Magoo Game Reserve as well, Mar Vista in that area, Ormond Beach, and I think I mentioned already Point Wainimi. Yeah, these are areas that are being impacted by this really bad near surface smoke. Okay, and it's actually following the direction of those Santa Ana winds. Do you see that? So remember, those winds accelerate and they get hotter and drier as they come down the canyon. So anytime you're talking about that wind coming down at an accelerated pace and they have to squeeze through canyons like that, they actually increase in speed and also in their warmth, right? They get hotter. And so this is what you're seeing here. And we're seeing sustained wind speeds between 20 to 30 miles per hour in this area alone. This has been an area that has been quite arid for a very long time. We've also have so much fuel there. So we just want to make sure that we're preparing everybody with the possibility of just having to be evacuated for quite some time. Let's take a look once again at the evacuation orders versus the evacuation warnings. First, let's talk about the evacuation warning. Zone 8, an area extended south of South Mountain Road, east of Briggs Road, and west of 12th Street and Bigsby Road. Zones 1, north of Somis, areas north of East Los Angeles Avenue, Highway 118, west of Balcom Canyon Road, and east of La Vista Avenue. Zone 2, Saticoy Country Club. Zone 3, areas of Highway 118, south of Highway 118, west of North Lewis Road. Zone 4, West Camarillo, north of Las Posas Road, south and east of Central Avenue. Zone 6, the area south of Santa Clara River and east of Los Angeles Avenue. Zone 7, the area north of Highway 101 and south and east of Beardsley Avenue and south of Central Avenue. And Zone 9, the area east of Santa Paula Community Golf Course, north along Santa Clara Avenue, west of South Mountain Road at Sespe Street, south to Bigsby Road. So now we have overlaid our near surface smoke with the actual fire, the impact there. Another product that I want to show you guys, I'm going to try and get this up as quickly as possible. Let's see what this shows us here. If we get our vertically, yeah. So now this is our vertically integrated smoke. What's interesting here, all of you, I want you to understand this. Thank you so much for joining me. We just looked here at our surface smoke, right? So I'm going to remove that quickly. Do you see the surface smoke, right? So now we're talking at sea level or 925 millibars, somewhere around there, maybe 850. That's what we're looking at. But then I remove that and I go into our vertical and look at how much the vertical is being impacted. So understand that the air focuses, it's a column, it's a 3D column, and it's always in the vertical. It's not in the horizontal as much as you think that way. It's not. So look at all the air that actually is going up. This is our vertical column of smoke. This is our horizontal. Look at that. This is surface, surface, surface. Look at everybody that's being impacted here. And it's only getting wider over the past couple of minutes. Let me do a refresher here because I had us at over 14,000 acres impacted. Let's see. We're still at 14,000 acres impacted, so we have to make sure that we keep an eye out on that. This started at 8:51 a.m. local time. Let's add that contour. Look at how this is spreading. Oh my gosh, this is absolutely heartbreaking. Once again, guys, I want to show you or talk to you all about where you can go for shelter, evacuation shelter. Padre Sarah Parish, 5205 Upland Road, Camarillo, Large Animal Evacuation Center, Ventura County Fairgrounds, Small Animal Evacuation Center, Ventura County Animal Hospital, sending all of our prayers to those sweet little animals, to everyone who's being impacted. I am so sorry. And here, once again, we take a look at our Santa Ana winds, high pressure building. That's exactly what we have, high pressure pressure area right over the Great Basin. So sometimes we have to look at all of these features. You know how I oftentimes just go into these features and I talk about the trough and I talk about the area of high pressure. The reason we're doing this is because it's that area of high pressure that's sitting over the Great Basin. And that in turn pushes down the mountain, pushes air down the mountain, and then compresses it. We understand, especially if you live along the Central Coast, you understand sundowners. That compresses. As it compresses, it warms the air, it dries the air, it dries that wind, and it makes the wind a lot faster. It accelerates, especially as it squeezes through the canyons. So those winds only get stronger and stronger. I urge you, if you know anybody in this area, once again, we're going to go ahead and go back to this map. I'm sorry it keeps on going to a wider view. Let me just go ahead and take a note and just save this one shot right here. See this shot? See this image here, this perspective? I'm going to go ahead and save that for you guys so we have it for the future. Save that as my new show element so that you guys know. And now another thing I promised you guys we would do, right? So now let's zoom in here. I want to show you something. This is very important. Do you remember when I just showed you the smoke rather in the vertical versus what was happening at the surface? Let's go higher up in the atmosphere. So now we're at about 10 meters, right? Above surface, above water, right? So that's, or sea level. So now let's go to 850 millibars. Look what happens. So this is what I'm saying. Do you see how much more? Look at what the winds are doing here. So our firefighters, our heroes are absolutely in need of everybody participating, making sure that you listen, you tell your friends, your family, anybody in this area. We talked about, was it Port Hueneme? We talked about Ormond Beach. We talked about Port Mugu, Oxnard, Channel Island Beach. We talked about, let's see, who else in this area? Lemonwood, Eastmont, Five Points Northeast, Mar Vista. I think all of these people are certainly in the West Carriage Square, West Village, East Village. This is a big problem right now with the wind. So now we're only at 850 millibars. What happens when we go higher up in the atmosphere? We're going to go into the middle of the atmosphere and look at this. Are you seeing how fast these winds are? And now at a higher level, see that the winds are coming out of the north. So this is telling me now there's a couple of features. So as I'm thinking here, I'm like, okay, well, if we have our winds, we have an area of high pressure. We know we have a clockwise circulation, but we also, so that's sitting over the Great Basin, but we also know that there's a trough that's impacting us right along this area, right? So that trough is an elongated area of low pressure. What does that do? That still operates in the counterclockwise area, right? Or we call it cyclonic. So now you have one wind atmosphere feature going this way, your trough, another one going this way. But if we go higher up in the atmosphere at 500 millibars, look what's happening. We're getting a northerly wind. So that's going to tell me that the winds are backing, right? So, or veering, right? So you'll say they're veering, coming forward, or backing. So now this is telling me that as you go higher up in the atmosphere, now we're getting a backing wind, which I do believe will lend to an even more aggressive spreading of this fire. It was a brush fire. It started at approximately 8:51 a.m. PST. It's 7:38 p.m. PST, and we are literally seeing, look at this. Are you serious? This is so sad. Let's overlay this once again with what's happening here. Let's remove our watches and warnings. We already know that those watches and warnings have to do with high wind and also with the concern for fire weather. And now we have our surface fire weather, near surface smoke. Fire weather is this contour right here. Look what's happening here. Let me go back and change our wind particles. I'm going to keep our wind particles at 850 millibars. I'm okay with that. That's about three to about 4,000 feet, okay, above sea level, right? So that's fine. We're going to stay there. We could go just 10 meters above surface. They're still really strong here. Do you see that? but I like to give you a little bit of idea of everything that's happening, okay? So that you guys are just like, wow, this is really a serious situation. Look at the winds at only 800. I mean, 3 to 5,000 feet. That's not very high, right? I mean, even though somebody's like, well, I'm at the coast, but still, it's not very high because you got to think about where it's coming down from. They're squeezing down the canyons, okay? So this is these rapidly moving winds, and this is what the fire is looking like right now as it continues to spread. This is absolutely heartbreaking. Here is our near surface smoke at 850 millibars. Let's see here. Near surface smoke. Here we go. Can you see everybody that's being impacted? And then I believe on this one here, I went with my vertical smoke profile, vertically integrated smoke. All right. So this is a lot. I mean, I'm so heartbroken right now. This is so sad. Sending our prayers. I'm going to go ahead and post this and share this with everybody. I'll be back in about it's 7:40 p.m. right now, PST. I'll be back at 8 p.m. PST so we can discuss in more detail what's happening right now. Do I see any updates as far as acreage goes? No. Have any other zones been added? No. We're still at over 14,000 acres burned. And once again, this is what our near surface smoke looks like. I'm meteorologist Erica Martin with Weather Co-op, where weather meets community. I will be back. Let's send our prayers. Let's send all of our good energy. And thank you so much to all of our heroes who do such a great job taking care of everybody. Gosh, what a sad, sad fire. Okay, guys, I'll be